Hello. Welcome. My name is Kevin Owasu Itoe, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Teach Yourself Test Automation, right? And also there is a website of the same name, right? teachyourselftestautomation.com, right? So I do blogs in my teachyourself testautomation.com. That's where I do the blogs, and here I do the videos, right? So the videos go with the blogs. The video goes on the blog channel. The blogs, right? And yeah, so you know what we're doing here? We're trying to spend this year to upskill from manual test to automation test, and I record my journey, right? I'm recording my journey so that I can share with you guys, and hopefully there is a body of work out there, or yeah, a knowledge base where I'm creating a knowledge base where people can also go and use to start off, right? This is a start off. I'm teaching myself, right, and I'm sharing. So for beginners, this is aimed at beginners because I'm a beginner, right? So you can come here, and for beginners, you get a flavor about test automation, and you get a flavor of what you need to put in to actually start teaching yourself test automation, right? If you want to do it on your own eyes, right? So today, what are we doing? Sorry about that. We are going to create our first test case. Right, we're going to create our first test case. I've been following a few courses and doing some YouTube practice, right? Seeing some practice videos, and want to do the same thing, right? We know we've done our setup in Cypress. Now we've got Cypress framework. We launched our test runner, and when you launch the test runner, it creates this Cypress framework, Cypress folder, which has a Cypress framework in it, right? And that framework comes default with it's mocha. Yes, mocha is the framework that Cypress uses, right? So when you download your Cypress or install your Cypress, you come with a mocha framework, right? Mocha framework. And so we want to write our first test case, right? And the first thing to do will be to actually see the actual framework itself, right? So the framework, Cypress framework, that we are going to use to actually build our cases in, our test cases, and how it's structured, right? So we jump onto the Cypress website, and it says write my first case. So you basically have this piece of code here, right? So if we copy that and we take it to our Visual Studio, right, and Visual Studio Code. So where you normally create your test cases is within the integration test folder, right? Right now there were some default test cases when you create your Cypress project and all that stuff, right? Cypress gives you some creates some default test cases, which it encourages you to look through and kind of learn from, right? So I've deleted all of those, so our integration folder is empty, right? It's empty. So if you click on that, so it's integration / example, right? So if you click on that and you just go to, or you right click, right, and new file, or you go file and new file, right? Either way goes, right? Let's just right click, and let's name this let's see, my first test. I don't know why it's going red, but I'll just keep it together, right? My first test. I'm just keeping my first test, right? So you're learning, right? I'm learning things, and it has to end with a .js. Yeah, .js for JSON, or JavaScript, sorry, JavaScript, JSON, right? So that's it, right? We have created our first spec file, test case, right? Spec file, and right. So now what we have to do is we'll just copy the structure of the of what the framework should look like to contain your test cases, right? So let's just drop it in here, right? And we talk through it, right? So if I do this and do that, and hopefully take this over this way so we can actually see the structure, right? And yes, right? So there are some keywords here, right? So you've got describe. Describe is one of the keywords, right? And that describe is the structure now, the structure of the framework that contains your test suite, right? Your test suite. So in here you could name this anything, right? They've named this their first test case here. So their test suite is called my first test, right? But I could change that and say I would change that and say my test suite, right? My test suite, right? And then so that starts here. You see the curly braces and ends down here, right? And those are inside brackets as well, right? So your describe starts up there and ends here. So you describe a structure, a framework structure, which is as per the mocha framework, right? As per the mocha framework. So your describe would hold your test suite, and your test suite will contain test cases, right? And then it brings us now to the next keyword, which is it. Now it is holds your test case, right? Test case. Now in here I could say my first test case, right? My first test case, right? And that's it, right? But here the default was that they did some sort of assertion, right? So our test case is empty right now, right? And so to go over it again, describe would hold your test suite, and within your test suite you will have a number of test cases, right? And it is the function that, or the keyword that describes your, that holds your test cases, right? So if say we copy this and then where's your copy here? Copy and just do this, right? And then we could say my second right? So my second test case, right? My second test case. But we take that away, right? We just keep one test case for now, right? And also this describe has two functions, right? So this first one would say what your test suite is, right? And then there's another one here which is functions, but that functions as normally you write it as function, right? You write it as function here. Normally you write function here, function, right? And then get rid of this, right? And get rid of this, right? That's the same thing, right? Function. Let me bring back the, and then get rid of this. So either way is fine, right? Either way is fine. This just says my first test case, and the function is your test suite, right? And then my first test case, and the function is your test case, right? So hopefully I'm getting it right, and right? So now our test case is blank, right? Our test case is blank. So normally what do? You probably say, because you want to automate the website, you probably have to visit the website first, right? So in Cypress, the driver, just as in Selenium, the driver is driver actually, right? But in Cypress it's cy, right? Cy dot, it comes up with crypto. I don't know why it does that. cy dot, not crypto please, cy. We'll correct that later. Okay, cy dot visit, right? And in there you just drop in the URL, right? So let's visit my website, right? So test automation, testautomation.com, right? Hit that in there and change this to cy, right? Now that's us just written a piece of code in Cypress to visit a website, right? So the first function we've done here is visit website. So if we save that, I don't know any shortcut of saving yet, so I save like that. And so this is, we just visit the website with this, right? And let's say we visit my website. You visit the website, right? If you're visiting the website yourself manually, right, the first thing you see is, oh, I'm on the right website. How do you know you're on the right website, right? You know you're on the home page, right? So the title is homepage, right? Right? And you can also say, oh, that URL looks okay, right? So I must be on this, you know, and I'm familiar with the website, so I know I'm on the website, the correct website. But how do you know if you're writing an automation test case, if, you know, from an automation point of view, right? You have to make an assertion to verify that you're on the right website before you start doing your tests, right? So we'll do two assertions, right? We'll do two assertions. So we will go, hopefully it doesn't do this crypto thing again, right? Dot, right? Should, oh, not shoes, right? Should. So we've just missed out here, right? So what do we want to verify here? What do we want to verify? Let's verify URL, right? So here we'll go URL, right? And then dot should, right? So we want to verify the URL. So it's cy URL dot should, and then within the dot should, the first function will be, what do you want to do, right? What do you want to do? So you want to say the URL should include, right? So we use the keyword include, right? And then we put a comma, right? And then open new quotations. So the URL should include what, right? So if I visit my website again, my URL is teachyourself-testautomation.com, right? So in here we'll put, let's just say, teach yourself, right? Part of the URL, teach yourself, right? Now that assertion is done for the title, right? So we've gone into visit the page, the web page, my website, and then we've said, okay, make sure I'm on the right website. We make sure that the URL is what it's supposed to be, and then we can also make sure that we're on the right website by checking the title, right? So making an assertion on the title as well, right? So it's going to be cy. Again, now what do you want to do? Before we forgot URL, right? Now we're going to go title dot. We can also use we can use should again, right? So should, right? And open and close brackets, and in here now, open and close quotations. What do we want to do, right? So this time, because we're checking title, we say it should equal, right? Equal could just be eq, right? Equal, and then, so we've got two functions in here, right? What should it equal, right? So we'll go to my website again, and we look at here, the title is, if you just hover over, right, you should see the title there. See, it's homepage in capitals, right? Homepage in capitals, right? Or also you could actually just right click on the page, inspect. Once you get that code, you go down, you could say Control F, and it should open a place there where you could type title, right? And so you could tell you in the code, right? That's the title, see? And we can copy this, just copy this, right? Either way is fine. You can just hover over there and it'll give you the title, right? And we close this, right? And we put that in there, right? So this is our test case done, right? It's our test case done. So we just save. I don't know a shortcut yet, so I've saved that, right? Now we need our test runner, right? We need our test runner to run this test case, right? Or you can use here and just say run. So we could go through here, or we could go through test runner. Let's go through test runner, okay? Sorry, I have to click down here and then one up because I've run it before. It is there, so I just click the up button and click enter. So this should launch our test runner, right? And within our test runner, we will run our test case, right? I hope this doesn't take too long, right? I hope it doesn't take too long. Right, it's moved down. This might take too long. This might take a long while. my laptop is singing away here. Can I? Yeah, I think I'll edit this spot. Okay, I'll cut it. I'll make it shorter. So when you get back, there might be a jump on the video, right? Right, it's launched there. That's not too long. I might just leave it in actually. I might just leave it in. Don't do any editing on this because the time is 1:10 in the morning, so I need to go to bed. I had to make this video. I had to learn this tonight. So we've launched our test runner, and to launch our test case, we just need to click on our test case, my first test, and it launches your browser, and it will launch this default in Electron browser. Hopefully this runs. I don't want to go start debugging stuff just now, right? Nice. So title.should is not a function. You see, this is what we are missing out. Title.should is not a function. Title.should is not a function. Right, because you see, we missed out on our open and closed, right? We missed out on our open and closed. See, I am learning and you're learning as well. So as soon as you save, it runs the test case again, right? As soon as you save, it runs the test case again, right? Hopefully this time we have it, right? Hopefully this time we have it, right? It's that's opened my exactly. See, so our two assertions have worked, right? Here it says expected homepage equals to homepage, right? So that's correct. And it says expected, it gives the URL, and then it says to include your teach yourself, right? And it does. So that passes as well. That passes as well, right? So if you want to see this fail, yeah, if you want to see this fail, we just go into our test case and we change something, right? So let me say I put an extra F. I don't think I've got two F's on the title, right? So just put an extra F. Save that, and hopefully it just kicks off the test again. So it has kicked off the test again. At this time, it should fail on the first assertion, which it has, right? It has. And again, it's saying expected. It gives the title, the URL, and then it says to include FF, right? It doesn't, and then it says timed out, retrying after 400 milliseconds, right? Expected URL should include teach yourself double F, right? It doesn't like that. So it just fails on the first assertion, right? It just fails on the first assertion. It doesn't even try the second assertion, right? So let's go back and correct that. Go back to our Visual Studio Code and correct that. So this one will pass, and then fail the next one, right? Fail the title assertion, and just put like a 1 there, right? And hopefully the first assertion will pass and the second assertion will fail. So it's launched it, well, it's just refreshed it, and the first assertion passed, and then it's trying to see the second assertion has failed, right? So we have seen our you might say positive negative scenario there, right? And we have learned we've got the function method of visit, and we've learned about assertions, right? Next, let's see what they have on their page. So we've learned visit. They have assertions here as well. Assertion error. We've checked that out. So visit a page. We've not checked on query an element. We'll check that in the next video. Click on element. We'll check that in the next video. Make assertion. Yep, we've done that, right? So on this video, we just did the visit method, right? And then we did some assertions on the website that we visit, which was my website, right? Teach yourself test automation. Right. My name is Kevin Owasu Itoe. It's rather late, so I just thought I'd jump in here, teach myself one method in Cypress and a couple of assertions on my web page. Okay, so my name is Kevin Owasu Itoe. Stay blessed. Good night.